The challenge of sustainable development in the Amazon is in a way unique because of the sheer size of the region, which is immense, the isolation of many communities. Probably have some of the most isolated communities in the world. But there is something which is common with probably the rest of the world, is the conflict between short-term policies and long-term goals. Governments are elected on 2-year terms, actually 4 years, but every 2 years in the case of Brazil we have elections. So the mindset is short-term, whereas in the case of sustainable development we have to think in the long term. There's a very interesting concept of backcasting, which is let's set a target for 2030 and then move from there backwards. That's backcasting, so that we have yearly targets. And that's what we should have for the Amazon. We should take all the sustainable development goals that were approved by the United Nations in 2015 and set our own targets here in the Amazon, targets for Belém, for Manaus, for all the regions, all the cities and all the protected areas of the Amazon, all the territories of the Amazon should have their own goals, their own targets for 2030. And from there, move backwards and have yearly targets for all these dimensions of sustainable development, which are relevant to people in the Amazon. So in a way, what we need to do now is to go from this very general, international level sustainable development goals into things which are relevant from a bottom-up perspective, and have very clear targets and very clear goals. And we have to have the finance for this. And here's a final challenge, so to speak, which is to increase the efficiency and efficacy of funding mechanisms for promoting sustainable development in the Amazon. We have to learn from past experiences which were not as successful as they could have been because of too much bureaucracy and too much inefficiency of expenditures. So we have to see how we can design these goals which are relevant to these different localities, different territories, have yearly targets and have the finance mechanism in place so that we can all work towards a sustainable development scenario in the Amazon. So I hope that these thoughts inspire you in your engagement in this challenge of sustainable development in the Amazon. Goodbye.